Kevin, how do you think Johnny played in the second half?
You know, I thought he was pressing a little bit early. First play, he missed a read, but, you know, a couple touchdown drives, a couple scrambles, and a foolish penalty at the end. And, you know, no matter what the comments are or what you know, he's going to face that every week with people chirping. And that's not okay. And obviously, I addressed that on the sideline right after the play, and that's something he's going to have to deal with every week.
Over here to the left, Randy.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, can you talk a little bit about the start for Rice early on, that first drive they had, and then how you guys responded with touchdown of your own?
You know, it's I said all week beforehand. My familiarity with that program and with David Bailiff, that's a well-coached team, and they're going to have a real chance to win their league. It was a team of opposites today. You know, you're looking at a team with 19 fifth-year seniors, 23 overall, 5 returning linemen, a fifth-year quarterback, and you know, 9 of 11 back on defense. And you know, we played 20 guys out there that had never played before. Is that an excuse for our play? No. I think we learned from today, you know, for a number of reasons, more than half our starters on defense did not play. And, you know, we get some of those guys back next week and over the course of the next couple of weeks. So this is very valuable experience for these young guys, because for us to be the team that we want to be, they're going to have to contribute and play critical minutes like they did today and get better. You know, it's the old adage, you know, a team can make, I don't know that I can agree with it completely, makes the most improvement from week 1 to week 2. But when you have that many young guys out there playing, you know, you have a definite ability to improve in a week because of they're being able to get used to the tempo of playing a game and being out there and communicating amongst themselves. And there's some valuable lessons that were learned today.
We'll go here in the middle, James, and then we'll go to the far right.
Coach, can you discuss the performances of Trey Carson and Ben Malena at running back?
Yeah, I probably said before I was looking forward to seeing Trey Carson play. And I think he's everything that we thought, you know, and he's really going to help us at the 230-pound guy. That gives us a different dimension. We'll get Brandon Williams back this week too, and we've kind of been holding him after his surgery last summer, and he feels good. He warmed up today. He wanted to play. I just didn't want. We've been holding him back for about 5 days now, so we've got some real weapons back there at running back, and you know, Trey Williams got a little ankle sprain today, but it wasn't anything serious. So we're going to need that depth, and I thought for the most part we were pretty efficient in our running game between the two backs, and I look for that to continue the rest of the year.
Okay, we'll go Gabe, and then Christy, you'll be next.
Coach, could you take us through the decision to go Jokel exclusively in the first half and your impressions?
Well, you know, I thought, you know, he was in a rhythm. I thought that he was playing well. And how he was playing, I think he deserved to keep playing. You know, the big decision at the end of the game was to play Kenny or not, because Kenny's going to play this year. I just didn't want to put him in there with 2 minutes to go to hand it off. I wanted him to be able to run the offense. So, you know, Matt, I thought, executed our offense. We had great tempo. You know, he didn't give the ball to the other team, and operated and let the people around him execute. And he was a distributor. So I think he gained a lot of confidence out of today, and I think our team gained a lot of confidence out of him today. And that's the way both those guys have been during camp. So we've got confidence in all three of the quarterbacks, and I think today you see why.
We'll go Christy and then Kevin Sherrington here to the left. Christy.
Did you see Johnny fake like he was signing an autograph to one of the rest defenders on his second series? And if so, did you talk to him about that?
I did not see that, no.
If not, I mean, if you did see that, what would you have been upset?
I didn't see it.
Well,
If I had seen it, I would have done something about it.
okay, so he did do that, and I've seen the video. Or
Well,
was that upsetting
I'll
to you?
see it on video, and if that did happen, then I will address that.
Over here, Kevin.
Yeah, but were you planning on taking Johnny out even before that penalty?
Nope.
Okay, over here, Mark, and then we'll follow up with Brent.
Coach, what did you say before the game to prepare Johnny for what chirping he might hear, and how do you think he responded to the
I
chirping?
didn't say
he
anything
did
to
hear?
him.
Okay,
Do you think you should have?
Nope.
next question here. Over here, Mark.
I think at this point, we talk about a lot of different things, not specifically about what's going to happen during a game. And we had another young man that was thrown out of the game, was a freshman. I didn't see what happened there, but the officials told me what happened. And we've got to grow as a team and mature as a team. And individual acts like that hurt your football team. And we talk about that in general all the time. So, you know, I don't talk to individual players all the time about those things before the game. You can't foresee everything. But what you can do is have a plan for it. And, you know, we lost another player today because of that. We had an ejection from a targeting penalty, which I challenged and lost. You know, we've got to grow as a team, and we've got to mature as a team, and that's part of our job as coaches.
We'll go Mark and then Brent Zwerneman.
Kevin, again, has it gotten to the point where you have to accept that you're going to get a lot of good, and get a little bit bad with him on the field because of his personality? And I think as part of the sanctions, he was supposed to address his teammates,
Which he did.
tell them what lessons he's learned. What do you think are some of the lessons he got out of this?
Well, I know in this room, you know, he addressed his teammates and talked about the mistakes he made and you know, and how his teammates have supported him through two-a-days, and how much he appreciated, you know, their support during that time, and wanting to be able to play and win games. So, you know, I don't think at any time do you, as a coach, the word accept, Mark, is not the word that we coaches go by. You know, you try to do everything you can to grow better people, better players, and give your team the best chance to win. And individual penalties of any kind, particularly personal fouls, are things that can keep you from winning ball games. And with the new rule, the way that is with personal fouls or things like that, 2 of them you're ejected from the game. So that's all part of it. And you know, we address those during camp, and you know, those things will be addressed this week too.
Okay, Brent, you're next.
With the guys you were already missing on defense, how difficult or disheartening was it to then add to that suspension list, and how troublesome is that, you know, with Alabama 2 weeks away, and how do you address that with your players as well?
We have addressed it, and the only way to address it is to play the young guys that we have. And as I said, you know, is it difficult for those guys and for us as a team? Yes. But the good news is that we're getting a lot of experience for a bunch of young, talented guys that we're going to need the rest of the season. So we're actually forced into playing them because of this situation. And as I said, I think probably the biggest thing coming out of today is the video that we'll be able to watch, and the experience that those guys got because of the tempo of the game and being out there by themselves and having to communicate, because you can't hear coaches yelling from the sideline anymore. It's pretty loud in Kyle Field. And, you know, we had a couple situations where a couple guys just actually froze up out there, wouldn't even open their mouths and couldn't get lined up. You know, what's going on? They couldn't hear. D-line said they couldn't hear. And then one of them admitted, he said, Coach, I just didn't say anything. I was just standing there. And, you know, you try to prepare. It's like anything else. As a coach, you try to prepare guys for all situations, but until the live bullets are flying, you don't know. And you know, it'll get better. as it goes on. But I think, the experience that we gained from today is going to help us down the road a bunch, particularly up front, because that's where most of the guys were gone.
We'll go Jen,
Front
and then
seven.
Jen, when you're through, if you would pass it back to Kate.
Coach, you talked about it, kind of how he addressed his teammates, and he appreciated the support. But what lesson do you hope Johnny learned from having to sit out the first half today?
I just hope he learned, that actions just like today, just like some other guys on this team, that those actions may be actions that you think just hurt you, but they end up hurting the whole football team. And that was the real gist of his message to the team. That that everybody's individual acts affect the team, and when that happens, it's not good. And like I said, we had a couple of those deals today that are hopefully learning experiences for the younger players, and an experience for him that, like I said, we'll address that this week. Sure. Yeah, sure it is. Sure it is. It's been 24 hours since that conversation. So, yeah.
Okay, Kate?
Just to clarify, when was the call made on the 4 additional suspensions that were announced before the game? Did you know about it for the full week or
yes.
Before that?
Around that time, yeah.
And because the penalty on DeShazier was upheld, how do you adjust if that's how the game's going to be called now with the new rule?
That's a learning experience. There would be I would imagine there would be a few of those called today, and that's the enforcement of the new rule. That's what's going to happen. So we have to adjust as coaches and players, because that's the way it's going to be called, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, he's because it happened in the second half. He's out for, the way I understand it, the first half of next week.
Okay, Robert Sessman.
That was 2 parts. I was going to ask those guys, Kevin, that were rejected. They're going to miss more time, and then you could also talk about the kicking game today.
Yeah, the way I understand the rule, Robert, is second half ejection is the first half of the next week too. So both of those guys, and I'm sure I'll get a ruling about that here shortly. But on a positive note, as you said, the kicking game, our kickers and punters were excellent today. Taylor was. I look for Taylor to get better every week. He's coming off of sports hernia surgery this summer, and he will get stronger as the weeks go by. He was, perfect today on extra points and his field goal, even on the bad snap, and had to readjust and made it. Kazers, you guys thought I was joking a week ago when I said we're practicing coverage because I was worried that he's kicking it too far. And, I'm not, don't get me, I'm not going to complain, but he's become a real weapon. I don't know what he averaged today, 50-something?
62-7, Coach.
62-7. Yeah, that'll turn the field over in a hurry. So, he's a real weapon for us, and he's playing with confidence. Both of those guys coming out of today, I think, had big smiles on their face, and that's the confidence that we may have been lacking a little bit last year at that position, both positions.
Here in the middle, KO.
Coach, you had a chance, and I know you're going to break film down, but just the overview of the entire team. You've now seen all the factions of the game all played out in Kyle. How do you feel just in general?
No, I think, we've got a lot of pieces that we can be successful with. I think we got a lot of young guys that are eager to play. May have had froze up a little bit early in the game and got on their heels, and that's part of coaching. Some guys until the lights really come on and the live bullets are flying, you don't know what's going on, and there were some positive things out of that. We get Kirby back, and in the middle, that's going to help us, and then you got a couple true freshmen rolling in and out of there in the inside against fifth-year seniors. They learned something today, and we'll as we move on through the year, and we start to get some of our veteran players back, as I said, the big thing out of today was that we got a bunch of young guys playing a lot of snaps in meaningful parts of the game and feeling the pressure of having to perform instead of at the end of the game where it's just mop-up time. And so because of that, the sense of urgency to prepare this week becomes a lot more realistic than maybe it was before the game. Instead of, guys that come in there, usually, when you recruit them, they're usually the best player on the field. And what they're finding out is you can't just get away with that a lot of times. You've got to prepare. There's a lot of things that go into playing the game, and it'll be a lot easier to get that point across this week.
Okay, Mark, before the last question from Mark Schlabach, Julian Obioha got dinged up, will not be able to come in today, and Johnny Manziel will not be here in the post-game interviews. Okay, Mark, last question.
Just to clarify, Kevin, Johnny addressed the team yesterday?
Friday, yes.
Friday. And did you get an explanation on the ejection for the targeting? Because it looked like he led with his shoulder. Was it defenseless?
I challenged the call.
They didn't give you an explanation?
That's all I can say.
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense?
Thanks. We'll get the players. We've got a couple
I
of
wouldn't have
players
challenged it if there was a question. So.
All right, Coach.
All right, thank you.